Welcome back. This is Pre-Algebra, Lesson 44, Histograms. Today we're going to learn how to construct a histogram and make predictions and inferences given the data sets displayed in that histogram. This is SOL Objective 8.13. So we want to know what a histogram is. Well, a histogram is a type of bar graph that shows the frequency of data within given intervals. And then the graph then doesn't have any gaps between the bars. We create bars where there's no gaps in between them. And the frequencies and data categories then are equal intervals that are on the graph. So again, we're looking for a bar graph that doesn't have any gaps, but it has intervals. So the categories are equally spread apart. And the categories now are number intervals instead of word categories. All right, so I'd like for you to go ahead and pause the video, copy this definition of a histogram into your math notebook. Here we're given a set of data about a day in December that number of hours of bright sunlight was recorded at 35 different stations. And then here we see our data. So given all this data, we want to organize it into a way that we can create some kind of bar graph or the histogram from it. Well, the first thing we want to do is identify what is the range. So the range, if you remember from learning about data in the past, the range is your highest value and you're subtracting from it, oh my goodness, I apologize. You're subtracting from it the lowest value. Okay? Goodness gracious. All right, so given that, then we are saying what is the highest value that we are given here. So the highest value that we are given, I'm going to select that in green for high value. We want to look for the highest piece of data. So let's see, 41 is pretty high. See if we can find anything bigger than 41. Oh, there's 47. So that would be higher. There's 51. Do you see anything larger than 51? I don't either. Okay, so we're going to say 51 is our highest, and then our smallest value is, let's see, 16 is pretty small. 16, there's an 8. Is there anything smaller than 8? Going across all of our data, and I don't see anything either. Good. All right, so the 8 is going to be our smallest. So here we have that our highest value is 51 and our lowest value is 8. So if we subtract them, then we would get that the range of this data is 43. So from the highest point to the lowest point, the distance between them is 43. Well, that's fine information, but now I need to use all this data to create a graph. So we have to organize it in a way into different categories. As you can see, everything's numbers. So we want to figure out, well, what kind of categories can I create it in? So since we don't have words to classify them under, we're going to create ranges or intervals. But we want these intervals to be the same distance apart for all of them. Okay? So let's see, if our highest is 51, we don't really need to go higher than 51. And our lowest is 8. We don't really need to go lower than 8. However, how do we create an interval that starts at 8 and goes up to 51? That might be kind of hard. So maybe let's start at 0. Okay? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a T-chart. This is where we're going to create a frequency distribution chart. So we're showing on here the distribution of our data points, and they're going to be grouped together somehow. So again, our frequency distribution. So let's see if I can get that up here. Frequency. Oh my goodness. Frequency. Oh, I apologize for this silly writing. All right, so our frequency. So we want to start with 0. We want to end up with 51, but we want to create intervals where it will start at 0 and go up to a category and then continue to show the same intervals over and over and over again until we get to 51. So I would suggest using all of these as our ones numbers. So let's go 11 right here, which means then we're going to start here at 12, which then we would go 21, and then 22, our very next, because we don't want to have any gaps, to 31, and then 31, oh, I'm sorry, 32 to 41, and 42 to 51. All right, I'm going to start with my smallest value, and I want to see how many pieces of data do I have that fall in the category or fall within the range of 0 to 11. So let's see, 16, no. We already selected 8, so keep looking. And as I'm searching through this data, I don't see anything else that was between 0 and 11. So we only had one piece of data, so I'm going to write 1 down. One piece of data, the number 8, fell between 0 to 11. Great. Let's choose another category. So I'm going to save green for my last, so I'm going to do blue next. So my next color is going to be blue. I guess I should put yellow for that category. Okay, we're going to blue. Now I'm looking for anything that's between 12 and 21. Okay, so 16, that looks good. 20, there we go. Here's another 20 and another 16. 23 is a little too high. Again, we only want to go to 21. Nothing else on that one. Oh, here's a 17. All right. A 14 and a 14. And that looks to be about it. So how many did we get? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we had 7 pieces of data that were between 12 and 21. All right, so again, now we want to go to another category. I'm going to go magenta this time. So this time I'm looking for 22 to 31. 22 to 31. All right, so 25 works. 35 is too high. 23, 25. We're going up to 31. So let's see. I hope I'm not missing any. Oh, there's a 31 and a 22. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 22 to 31. I feel as though I need to take another look. Have I missed any? Oh, I did. I did miss one right there. Very good. All right. So 22 to 31. And if I counted those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would have 6 for this category. Okay, excellent. Well, now I want to go to the next one. The next category, I'm out of colors since I'm saving green, so I'm going to choose, I think I'll choose orange this time, okay? So I'm going to choose orange, and orange is 32 to 41. All right, oh, excellent, 41. So any of my 30s that are left over, I want to select to go up to 41. Oh, goodness, we have quite a few. All right, too high, too high. Oh, it's just too high. Bummer. There's another 30s. There we go. Oh, 40 will work. 40, and one more 40. Excellent. Wow, we had a lot of orange this time. Okay, so this data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this time, my frequency of this category was 12. All right, so if we did it all right, everything else should fall within this larger category of 42 to 51. We're going to do that in green. So let's see. Yes. Yes. 42 is the lowest value. Good. Here we go. 51 is our highest. 44 works, 50 works, so we already selected that 51, and everything is now selected. Excellent. So let's see. We're going to, we had how many greens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we had 9. And if we did it all right, we can double check to make sure that all of these are going to equal what they told us. We said we had 35. So let's see, 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 12 is 20, plus the 929 and 6 more is 35. So it does add up to be 35. So great. So now that we have this information, we want to take that frequency values and create a histogram. So here we have our two axes, and this one is our y-axis, and this one over here is our x-axis. I don't have much room over there, so I'm gonna put it right here. And just for your information, the y-axis is our dependent value. So if you're doing some of these practices in your science class, the y-axis is always representing your dependent and the x-axis is always representing your independent. That's what's left over. Okay? Excellent. So, well, we need to create some categories. First of all, we need a title. So for this title, I'm going to put sunshine. Sunshine, always a title. Any title will work as long as you have one. And then we need to create our categories. So the frequency, how often do they happen? So down here in the corner would be 0. So I don't have a whole lot of room. So I'm going to go by 2s. So I'm going to say there's 2 here and 4 here, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And now I need to create my interval categories down below. So this is the frequency. This is how often. So this is always going to be your frequency label. And down here is going to be your days of sun. All right. All right. So for our first category, let's see if I break it up into sections. I'm going to break it up into 2. So 3, 4, and there would be our last one. So this one now would be between 0 and 11. This one would be between 12 and 21. This one would be 22 to 31. This would be 32 to 41. And our final category would be 42 to 51. Okay, excellent. All right, so what I want to do is now create a bar graph that shows how many we had. So for the first category, 0 to 11, we only had 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put my line going across here and then draw another one going down. And I'm going to fill that in with a color. Let's see, we said that one was yellow, so let's see if we can fill that in with yellow. Is that going to work? Is it going to turn in yellow? Nope, I don't think so. So we're going to get our highlighter back. All right, so this was our yellow one, okay? So for the next one then, 12 to 21, we had 7. So we're going to go up here. 7's going to be, we're going to go up. Again, we don't want any gaps. We're going to go across, and we're going to go, oops, that didn't go very far. Go very well. Imagine that that's a straight line going across. And this is going to be our next category, and our color that we used for that one was our blue. So let's get our blue highlighter back, and we're going to color this section in. This is going to be our blue category right there. Okay. Our next one is 6 from 22 to 31. So our line's already made for us. That made it nice and easy. Let's see if I can make a straighter line. There we go. And this one only went to 6. And I think that was magenta, if I'm right. The next one category. Yep, there we go. So this was our magenta category. And then the next category is 32 to 41. So 32 to 41 was our largest category, and that went up to 12. So I need to extend this line now up to 12 and go across and go back down. There we go. And I think for this one, our color that we selected was not on the grid, so we have to select it, orange. So this was that category. Excellent. I know it's kind of a silly coloring job. And finally, our last category, 42 to 51, and there was 9 of those. So I'm going to go straight across here, There we go. And then I'm going to make it go down. And this one was now green. So then coloring in green. So we can see all of our categories. If I was able to spend more time and do this, I would definitely want to make sure I did a much better coloring job. But as you can see, these graphs now are showing the distribution of our data, and the bars are not touching, or they are touching each other, but we can tell by the categories that are evenly spread apart how we classified the data. Okay? Excellent. So for your homework tonight, I would like you to go back and copy. You don't have to copy the previous page, but I would like you to copy this page into your data notebook along with your definition of a histogram. Great. Now that you've done that, your homework tonight is to use this data that I've given you. It says a survey was taken and that asked people their height in inches, and the data values are shown right there. I've told you what I'd like for you to go ahead and use for your frequency intervals. I'd like for you to make a frequency table and a histogram from the data. Okay? And there are your data points. We'll talk to you later. Good luck.